Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pro Body Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Melissa, and this is my husband, Janusz. And today we're going to be speaking about self-sabotage. So if you're someone that you've been working towards a goal and you find as soon as you get close to that goal, for some weird reason, you stop and you go back the other way and go back to your old habits and you have no idea why you keep doing that, then this episode is for you.
Yeah, I think this is a topic, honestly, that is so relatable to literally every person out there because we all have things that we're trying to change about ourselves. We all have new goals that we set every year. We all have new things that we're trying to change about our behavior, our lifestyles. And I feel like it's something that we all go through where we all feel that imposter syndrome whenever we're trying to do something new. And that's just, I guess, what comes with the territory of trying to do something new is that it is something new. So to start with, you are kind of faking it a little bit until you make it. We all feel that like little bit of imposter syndrome. We all feel like we're not deserving of the results that we are trying to go for. So I think this is something that's really relevant to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I feel like we're around it a lot, obviously, because we're in the industry where people are trying to change. And it's an amazing journey that we take our clients on and we get to experience and witness their changes. But no one is like easy breezy going from point A to point B. It is really hard changing who you've been for so many years, probably since you were, born. We are raised a certain way. We believe who we are. And then all of a sudden, maybe those habits haven't served you and you want to change them and go a different direction in life. But all of a sudden you're trying to go in that direction and you feel so much resistance. You feel like people are judging you. Maybe you're judging yourself. Maybe you don't even believe that you can achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And that's why usually most people pull back, because it's actually easier to pull back and just go, oh, well, that's who I am. I'm someone who, for example, I'm not consistent. I'm someone who doesn't follow through. Where you're trying to become someone who is consistent, who does show up, who does follow through on the promises they make to themselves. It is a massive shift. And this doesn't just, can't even speak. This doesn't just have to be about health and fitness goals right now. It can be in relation to anything. We're going to share a few examples of ourselves today. And I have found over the years that the person I've become today, whenever I've made like a massive positive shift in my life, it's always come from my identity changing into a new person, but it was never easy. I always felt resistance.
Yeah, and that's what I want you guys to hear from today is that we're not perfect either. This is something that literally everyone struggles with. And in fact, like we struggled with it a lot. Like most of you don't know us from childhood, but both me and Mel used to be silent. Like
no one
were the
would
biggest
ever believe
introverts. That. Yeah, neither of us were really. I remember when my mum would introduce me to somebody and then I was doing personal training, she would say, oh yeah, Janusz is a personal trainer. And they're like, oh no, you mean Anjay, like my brother's name, right? And then she's like, no, Janusz. And the reason so many people were shocked is because I never really used to talk. I was like an introvert. And it's something that I had to break out of with, posting social media, talking to people in the gym, like all of this I felt so uncomfortable with to start with because I did feel like an imposter. I was like, oh, well, I don't normally talk. I don't normally speak life into people. This is something new that I'm having to learn. Now I don't feel that way at all. And part of the reason is because you feel like an imposter when you're not doing something. But the more you start to put in the actions, the more I started to train people, the more I started to encourage people, the more I started to speak and talk and speak on camera and, do things like this podcast, the more comfortable I got doing the things. And so eventually the imposter syndrome went away because I was no longer being an imposter anymore because I was actually doing the thing. So once I'm now consistently showing up and consistently doing the thing, I'm no longer being an imposter. And that's where I love that quote that it's not, it's kind of fake it till you make it, right? So at the start, you're faking it because you don't feel like it. You don't feel like you're that type of person. But eventually through faking it, through just actually acting out the actions and doing the thing, eventually you do it so much that you're like, oh, actually, I just kind of faked it till I made it. And now I'm no longer faking it because I've made it, because you've been consistent and you've pushed through. So that's something that I found in my life. Well, both of us really,
Yeah, I'm the exact same and you wouldn't believe it because I can't stop talking now. But I love running into people from my teenage years, high school, girls I played netball with, etc. now because they can't believe how much I speak. I was literally nicknamed Mute. Like my netball team called me mute because I would not speak. I was just there to get the job done. And I thought, I don't need to be social. I also wasn't very much like most teenage girls where I was talking about boys and things like that. I was just here to study, here to get netball done and win, and then I went home. And then I'd act like myself at home. But in front of people, I found it really hard to kind of just start speaking because I remember thinking to myself, well, everyone knows me as quiet Melissa who just plays netball and like gets the job done. I can't just all of a sudden come out of nowhere and just start speaking and being my normal self in front of people. That's what I believed. And over time, I've just had to do really uncomfortable things like speak on social media. I did Miss Universe contests years and years ago. Like I've done things to really challenge myself to get me out of that insecure little bubble I was in to become the person I am today. Like we're hosting a podcast now. There is no way 10 years ago I'd be hosting a podcast, but it's not that I was just shouting affirmations in the mirror going, I'm going to be confident. I can speak to other people. I can do this. Yes, that may help. However, the only thing that's helped me along the way is just proving to myself over and over and over again that I can do this. It's uncomfortable until it's not. So if you're feeling discomfort right now, which you should be, if you're trying to change your life in any area, you should feel discomfort. And that's the first step, is realizing that it's okay to feel that way. Because I know when most of our clients feel that discomfort, they will say to us, well, I know my clients do. They're like, oh, it just doesn't feel right. Maybe I'm on the wrong path. I'm like, no, discomfort, that means you're on the right path. Keep pushing. It should feel challenging. You are going against everything you know to completely change the habits that haven't been serving you. So it's actually a really good thing to feel that discomfort, and eventually you don't feel uncomfortable anymore. Like now I can just speak and no one's going, whoa, what is Melissa talking about? Like, who does she think she is? It's actually weird if I don't speak now, and that's who I've become. Do you know?
Yeah, no, I think, and it's exactly what you're saying there. It's about doing it despite the resistance, because anything that is new to you, you will feel resistance with because it doesn't feel normal. Like it's not your normal. So whenever you're doing something new, whether it's your fitness journey, whether it's something in, going out and trying to do public speaking, whether it's just trying to talk to people if you're not, if you're very introverted like what we were.
Yes.
All of these things will feel very abnormal to you. If it's going to the gym for the first time, like you're going to feel that resistance because you're not that type of person who does that yet. But the only way to become the type of person that does that is by putting in the actions and just doing it anyway, despite the fear. Like feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's how you then get confidence. Like I always say that confidence, like self-belief, it's in the title. A lot of people don't really know what it is, but self-belief is when you believe in yourself. Now, when you haven't got evidence that you can do something, then you won't have self-belief. Like you're not supposed to be confident in something that you've never done before, because then you'd be deluded, right? So confidence, like true deep down confidence, doesn't come from just encouraging yourself, shouting in the mirror, using, self-talk, positive self-talk. Like true confidence comes from evidence. Like true confidence is like, oh no, I know I can do something because I've got evidence in the past that I've done it before.
Yes.
But the thing is that when you start something new, you're not going to have that evidence because you've never done it before. So the goal is to just persist in doing the actions to create evidence, to show your brain that, you know what, I am the type of person who shows up and does the workout when I said I was going to, even though I don't feel like it. And the more you show up, the more you do those workouts, the more you do hard things that you don't want to do, you feel that resistance, everything in you doesn't want to wake up early to go for that run or do the workout, but you do it anyway, then that's going to build massive amounts of confidence and self-belief, because now you're not just like hoping you've got self-belief. You're not just like using self-talk to again, trick yourself into being confident, but you then get this actual confidence that you build, because now you can look back and your brain can look back and be like, well, you know what? There was many times over the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks that I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do that workout, and I did it anyway. And so the more you do those things, the more it builds your confidence, because now it's not just a hope thing. It's literally an evidence thing where your body's like, okay, well, in the past, the evidence shows that I have shown up and I have showed up for myself.
Yeah, I love that. If anything, like I try to chase resistance now. With anything that I'm trying to achieve, if I'm not feeling resistance, it means I'm staying in that comfort zone, and nothing good grows in the comfort zone. I don't want it to be easy. Think about the gym, for example. If I'm doing a weight that's too easy, I'm not going to grow that muscle. So I need to apply that resistance to make sure that muscle grows. Otherwise, I'm going to stay the exact same for the next year. Think about a child walking for the first time as well. I love to use this example is when a child first realizes that they can walk, what do? They never crawl again. They just, for some reason, all of a sudden go, oh, I can now walk. I'm going to go. But up until that moment, they had no idea they could do that. And they keep falling over. They keep trying. They stand up slightly. They may fall over again. But as soon as they start to get a few steps in a row, they're like, oh, I now have confidence that I can do this because I've proven to myself I can. Let's go. And then they start walking, then they start running, and then they, keep going. And I just think with anything in life, we need to remember that kind of simple analogy of, you may only be able to do one step right now. It may feel uncomfortable. You may have never done it before. Maybe people in your environment and your surroundings don't believe in you. And maybe you don't believe in yourself, but you've just got to keep taking one step after another to keep going there. It's not supposed to be fun. It is, but it's not supposed to be easy. A lot of our new clients compare themselves to some of our clients that have worked with us for over a year or 2 years now that are getting some incredible results. And it's really hard to kind of compare their point B to your point A because their whole identity has changed. And I feel like that's our biggest part of our job is the training side is easy. The nutrition side is easy. It's actually helping our clients completely shift their identity from this to the dream that they wrote in their first inquiry form. And that's why we really hone in on them and we're like, why do you want to achieve it? And what do you specifically want to achieve? Like, why do you want to lose 20 kilos? It's not because you just want to lose 20 kilos. There's a reason behind it. You want to become this type of person. And when you realize the identity of that type of person, you can start going, oh, okay, well, how does that person act? How does that person show up every single day? I know for myself, I know people look at me as fit, healthy PT Melissa. That is my identity. I love it. I live and breathe it. I do the actions of that version most days out of the year. But if I just randomly rocked up to my friend's house with like a cigarette in hand and alcohol, everyone would freak out because they're like, Mel doesn't do that. I would also feel really awkward. I'd be like, how do I hold this? Like, this is so weird. I feel disgusting. And it's not my identity. I don't feel confident and comfortable in that identity. And people would question that. But no one questions when I bring tracking of my tracked food to events. No one questions when I say I prioritize my gym sessions over social events sometimes because that's who I am.
Yeah. Well, I think what you were saying before about like your friends believing in things like that is they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like if there is zero evidence of you being that type of person, then it doesn't make sense for people to believe you, right? Because again, self-belief, like you shouldn't believe yourself if there's no evidence of it, right? You won't feel confident, right? The confidence, the self-belief, the belief in other people comes from the evidence of like seeing them follow up. Like I will believe when a friend who is reliable shows up for me because I'm like, oh, well, they always show up for me in the past. So going off the past, I can believe that they're going to show up for the future because
yes.
I know that they're kind of on time. But if you got a reputation of being someone who's always late, always, forgets events, things like that, then you know that friend where you book something with them and you're like, I know they're going to be late.
Yeah, you've got to tell them like a half hour earlier time just in case.
Yeah, and why is that?
Because you know that history has shown that they don't rock up on time.
Right. Like they've built a negative reputation.
Yes.
With other people. But then what we're talking about is self-belief, is you're building up a negative reputation with yourself every time you don't follow through on your word. And so now we need to flip that. Like the way you flip that is by now doing the opposite. So whatever your new identity is that you want to put in place, whatever your new goal is, your new lifestyle you want to create, the more you now start to put actions in place that fulfill that identity. So if it's working out, the more you work out daily, the more you don't want to work out and you did it anyway, the more you meal prepped and ate your meals, the more you track your calories, the more you show up and do those things, the more you're building evidence to support that new identity. So then it starts to affect your brain and then you start to associate with that identity.
Yeah, the first thing that I usually do, and I get a lot of my clients to do this as well, when you're going from this identity to a new identity, that bridge in between, that gap is really hard. And all that gap in between, no one's showing on social media. No one's posting about all the lows and the highs. They're just going, hey, here's my before photo and here's my after photo. How great is this? But realistically, that middle part is really hard. So what I usually start with is going, okay, well, with my old and current identity, what are the habits that are not serving me right now? So I look at my everyday habits and I go, well, probably getting up at 10 a.m. is probably not serving me. That's the first habit I'm going to switch over. Then the next one, I'm probably drinking too much Coke and I'm not hydrating with water. Maybe that's another habit I should change. And you write a massive list of everything that's not serving you. And then you really get excited and you kind of write down your dream identity of like, okay, well, if I could just click my fingers and be this amazing person and this, amazing identity that I want to be, who is it? What does she do? What does he do? And then you go dream identity of Melissa. She gets up. She, gets up at a certain time. She meal preps her food. She trains really hard. People notice her muscle definition when she goes to the shops. She can wear certain clothes and doesn't have to think about losing weight before an event. She does this. Like I over exaggerate it, and I get my clients to do this as well, because I think you've got to visualize who that person is. Otherwise, you're not going to know how to even fake it till you make it, because you don't know who to fake. You're like, okay, well, now I've got to rock up as this person. It's going to feel really weird, but at least you know a plan of like, okay, well, these are the habits this person does. Let's just try and do it. It's like an actress. They rock up to the set, and they've got to act like a completely different person and do all these lines. They're not that person, but we believe it when we're watching those movies because they just fake it.
They're doing the actions.
Yeah, they do the actions of that character. Like when I watch Harry Potter, he's not a wizard, but I believe he's a wizard. I believe in it so much that I wanted to go to Hogwarts so bad. He's just an actor. He was 12 years old, just acting like that. But I truly believed it. And I wrote this quote down, is your results will always match the identity you believe about yourself. So if you're not showing up for yourself right now, or you keep self-sabotaging, you are still believing that you are the identity that you used to be, and you're not believing yet that you're this new identity. And guess what? That's okay. We're going to help you today.
I think a lot of people self-sabotage as well. This is something that, I've done with various goals that I've been trying to do in the past. Because they're trying to aim for perfection, and they've set up this identity for failure, basically, because they're like, all right, I don't like who I currently am. I want to change. Great step one. Then they figure out, okay, what are the things that I want to change? What are the new actions I want to take? They start doing those actions. Like you're saying, they start acting as the new character, right? Until they make it. But then the problem is that the moment that they go off script, right? Or the moment that they don't do the right actions and they fall into their old identity, their old, character they're being, they feel like a failure, and they identify, I wasn't the perfect actor today. I wasn't the perfect person. You know what? I'm a failure. Who am I? And so then they just let it completely derail themselves, because they feel like to be the new identity, you have to be perfect. And the reality is you don't. Like, you are not what you do occasionally. You are what you do majority of the time. So if you're the type of person, like this is the goal, right? Is to become the type of person who majority of the time eats good, healthy meals, who majority of the time is disciplined and does their workouts, who majority of the time is on time, gets their work done, shows up for their friends and family. So if you have those as your ambitions and majority of the time you do those, then your body will start to be shaped and your life will start to be shaped into that. Even though occasionally you might binge eat. Occasionally you might have McDonald's. Occasionally you might have this. Because you're not what you do occasionally. You are what you do majority of the time.
Yeah, I love that
And
point.
if you forget that, that's where you think, okay, I'm trying to be perfect. I failed once on the weekends. I had breakfast out with my friends, and I had, maybe it was like a nice big breakfast that you had. You went over your calories. And because you were trying to be perfect, you now go, you know what, I'm a failure. My entire weekend's now written off.
Yeah, that all or nothing mindset.
Right. Whereas if you had have just been like, no, you know what, majority of the time I've got my workouts in this week. I've eaten really healthy. I've done really well. Okay, yeah, maybe I didn't go as planned with breakfast. I had a little bit of a breakfast burger or something that pushed my calories over. But if you just then fix it straight away so that the very next meal you eat is a nice healthy meal, or you go for a walk after, or you do some exercise, like it's just a little speed bump. And again, you are what you do majority of the time, not occasionally.
Yeah, but even with us, the old identity of Melissa, for example, still creeps in sometimes, and I have to go, whoa, what are you doing here? Like, I could go to a party or a social event that maybe I don't know many people, and as much as I feel confident who I am, and I would say I'm quite an extrovert now, I still sometimes walk into a room and I go into that safe bubble of like, okay, I know Janosch, I'm just going to stick over here. And then I have to internally talk to myself to go, Melissa, you're not that person anymore. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to naturally go back to that kind of behavior and habit. And I have to talk to myself to go, okay, I want you to go over and talk to that person about what you do for work and everything and start a great conversation. And I force myself, it feels so weird sometimes, but I force myself to go over there, and then the real new Melissa comes back out, and I love this version of Melissa. And I have to really remind myself of who I am, because that old version creeps in and I'm like, excuse me, no one invited you. Or there may be days where I'm feeling really run down and I'm like, that's it, I want to binge a whole block of chocolate and watch Gilmore Girls all day. As soon as I do that though, I go, why do I think this is the best version of me? I hate doing this. And I prove to myself once again that the new version of Melissa is so much better. But I don't hate myself for going back to those old ways. Yeah. I start to go, okay, well, that was my old way. How sucky was that? Like, I didn't like that at all. I love the new version of me. Let's go right back to her. I don't prolong it. I don't go, oh, I've got to wait till Monday to get back to the real version of Melissa. You can change in an instant. But it's all about proof. You've got to make sure you're constantly showing up for yourself and just coming back to who you want to be. Again, faking it till you make it, until you really become that person. We are not who we are without all the bumps along the road. And all those bumps along the road have brought us to where we are now. And I'm so grateful for that. So I'm actually glad I started as a mute person, because it proves to any of you, and my mum will second this, it proves to any of you that you can speak and be confident if you started like I did.
Yeah. I think like a big point, what you were saying there too, is like doing it scared, doing it fearful, doing it feeling like, not a procrastinator, an imposter. Yeah. Right.
Good word.
So it's about being proactive versus being reactive, right? Most of humans, most of us are all reactive by default. Like, we're like, oh, you know what? I'll wait till I feel the emotion, then I'll do the thing, versus doing the thing, which then creates the emotion. So a lot of us, proactive people will do the thing despite not feeling it yet, knowing that it's going to create the feeling to make it easier to keep doing it in future. Where reactive people are sitting there like, oh, no, I'm just going to wait till I feel the emotion I want to feel, or I feel motivated, then I'll do the thing. And they're just waiting for something. It's kind of like, I'll put petrol in the car once the car starts driving. It's like, well, no. You got to put petrol in first so that the car can drive. And so this is what a lot of people do. And this is what, we've done in our relationship as well. Like, anytime we're fighting, anytime we're not, feeling it, you're not feeling loving. Like, you don't want to love the other person. And so many people, when there's issues in their marriage or issues in anything, they start to be like, oh, well, I'm going to wait for the feeling of love before I do the action of loving the other person.
Yeah.
Not realizing that, well, hang on, the action of loving the other person creates the feeling of love, which then makes doing the action easier and easier and easier. And so it's the same thing with anything. If you're thinking about being proactive versus reactive, like, are you waiting for something? Are you waiting for a feeling to come? Or
motivation.
Are you going to do the thing that will get the feeling? So with the example with you at the party, like, anytime we go there and you're feeling that reserved feeling like, oh, I'm kind of coming back into my shell, I feel weird. It's like, even though I don't feel like being social, I'm going to go and I'm just going to be social anyway. Yeah. Because from that first 5 minutes, you then start to feel social, and then it's easier to be social. Or for me, I remember when I used to go out clubbing back in the days, I used to be so scared to go on the dance floor. And it was so funny because it's like, I would have that desire. I'd want to go and dance. I'd want to go have a party and like be like everybody else. But I had that resistance in me that didn't want to do it. So then what I would do is I would just do it anyway. You just go and just do it for, one song. But then the action of dancing makes it easier to continue dancing. And so when you're looking at anything you're trying to achieve in life right now, realize that just stop being emotional. Like, stop letting your emotions lead you. You're being a reactive person.
And stop thinking you're that important. No offense, but no one's thinking about you. And even if they do, it's for a second.
Yeah. And so that's where you just got to switch from being reactive and emotion-led to then being proactive and just proactively choosing, what do I want to feel and what are the actions that align with that? And I'm going to do it anyway, even though I don't feel it. Because again, if you do it majority of the time, you are what you do majority of the time, not what you do occasionally. So stop worrying about the occasional things you have, the occasional insecurities, the occasional times you fall off the plan, and focus on rewarding yourself for all the things you did throughout the week, where you did show up to the gym, where you did eat really healthy.
Yeah.
So you can get straight back on plan as quick as possible.
I think a lot of people don't realize that the reason you feel like resistance is bad and the reason you go back to those old habits is because your brain's actually trying to protect you. And our brain doesn't like discomfort. It doesn't like, not knowing what's going to happen, the uncertainty. It knows like this old identity that you're currently in, maybe, it knows that version of you. It feels comfortable there. It knows how you operate. It knows that you sleep in. It knows that you eat a whole block of chocolate. It knows that you don't speak to people and you're not social. It knows that version of you. It knows how to process it. When you're now trying to be this fit, athlete, active person, it's like, hold up. Who are we? Who are you trying to be? You're making my job really hard and I'm going to protect you and just put you back in your bubble. But realistically, we've got to know that it's actually a nice thing our brain's doing that for us. Like it's actually our brain trying to protect us, which is amazing. I love that for me. But I also want to teach my brain that it's actually okay to be this new version of myself. And the more actions you give your brain and the more results you give your brain to be like, oh, like this actually is great. Your brain will start to be like, hang on a second, this version's actually better, Melissa. Let's go over here. The same way I was saying before how I sometimes go back to my quiet version of myself. And as soon as I go back to my social version, it's like, oh, that's right. We're better over here on this side of the fence. And you've just got to keep bringing yourself back to there. But another point as well I want to say is a lot of people, like when you've been in, like, for example, if you're in like a cycle of having bad habits, maybe you're not feeling as confident in yourself, a lot of the time, and this is just from evidence from what I've seen from clients and friends, etc., is that bubble you've put yourself in, that safety bubble, you're kind of invisible. And that's a safe area for you to be in. Like no one's really noticing you. No one really cares about you, to be honest, because you're doing the same thing over and over again. But until you start changing and trying to become this new identity, people start to notice you. And guess what? Someone who's been very invisible for quite a long time doesn't like that feeling of being noticed now. And as much as you don't want to admit that, it's true. You're like for example, when I started speaking, I started posting on social media, for example, me speaking to the camera. I know of people who, like friends would tell me, oh, this person said this about you. Who do you think you are, Melissa? Of course, I was like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. People are speaking about me. Oh no, like I should stop. Of course you want to go back into that bubble. But this is where you've just got to keep showing up and showing up and showing up. And eventually no one says anything, but it's really hard to get there. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think 100%. Like a lot of people, and this is something that we both experienced, like we were both very quiet when we started off. Like we were both, up until year 10, literally, I didn't really talk to people until I was very comfortable with them.
I think I was 18.
Right? And this is where when you start to get results, it physically shows in your body and you start to receive compliments. I can't take compliments very well.
Yeah.
You don't like that. It feels weird. I'm not someone who likes compliments.
Such a good point.
So then you revert back to your old self who's comfortable not getting compliments.
Or you say before they even compliment, or they do compliment you and you go, oh, they're just lying. Yuck. I'm a fatty. I'm this, I'm that. And you kind of speak badly over yourself to protect yourself.
Yeah. It's like, stop it. Like you don't like your current version. You don't like how you're feeling. You don't like how you're looking. Stop defending that version of yourself. Accept, like just say thank you. Like it's not that hard. Like if someone compliments you, I know I'm saying this as somebody who also struggled with this, by the way. But when somebody compliments you, just say thank you. Yeah, I'm working really hard. Like affirm the work you're doing. Like get comfortable accepting compliments. Otherwise, you're always going to sabotage yourself to bring yourself back to where you're comfortable. And this is something that, like when I talked about self-talk doesn't work, affirmations don't work, they do work, but just not alone. Like you can't just look in the mirror and affirm bad actions. Like you need to take good actions first so that you can affirm those actions and say, great job. You know what I mean? So if you go to the gym and then you work hard, and if you're doing all these things and you're working hard, then when you look in the mirror and you do self-affirmations or positive self-talk, your brain will now believe yourself because it's based on evidence. It's the actions that you took. You can't affirm someone of something that they're not doing. So you just know that you're lying to yourself. If you look in the mirror telling yourself that you're beautiful, telling yourself that you're losing weight, it's like, well, you're not.
Yeah.
I know you're not, so it's not going to work. But self-talk is only a very powerful tool when you're affirming the things that you are doing and are taking steps towards.
Yeah.
So you need to reshape as you start training, as you start doing your workouts. Don't just look at them as like, I hate them. Like as you do them, use that positive self-talk of, oh, I love the feeling that I have that my body's changing. Oh, I love the burn that I get in my legs when I do leg extension because I know it's toning up my legs. Oh, I love the feeling of eating healthy food because I know it helps to fuel my body really well. Like the more we can affirm these good decisions that you're taking, the more that you can then start to embrace that new identity because you're using your own words to affirm your identity, as well as being able to accept other people giving you compliments and saying, hey, you're so good. Man, I don't know how you wake up at 5 a.m. to go for a run. That's insane.
Yeah. No, your brain always wants to affirm, like you were saying, what you're telling it. So if you're constantly telling it, I'm not someone who follows through, I'm inconsistent, who do I think I am trying to lose weight? I'm just going to put weight back on. Your brain's going to go, okay, I'm going to find evidence to show and prove to you that you're going to do those things. So if you want to go the other way, like, and be that really strong identity that I was talking about before, that dream identity you have, I even do things where I'm like, I remember when I would go to like the commercial gyms, I would be like, okay, what would athlete Melissa do? Athlete Melissa shows up and I would think like, pretend I was an athlete where people are looking at me and being like, oh my gosh, like what kind of gym routine does she do? Because I want to be like her. And I would put my headphones in. I wouldn't even listen to music. I just have them on, my beats. And I'd be like, Melissa shows up. She gets the job done. But also, how does Melissa walk into the room? I know that I want to walk into a room and people go, and it's not about getting validation from others, but it's about walking into the room and people going, oh, what does she have? No one knows me, but they know there's a confidence oozing out of me that I am showing up with. Like I'm constantly reaffirming this new confident identity that I want to be. And whenever I'm feeling like I can't be bothered to meal prep or go to the shops or go to bed to get a good night's sleep, I'm constantly telling myself, yes, but tomorrow's version of Melissa needs you to do this today. It's not fun. It's not always going to be the easy option, but I like to always remind myself as well, is anything worth having is going to be hard to begin with. It's always a hard choice to begin with that becomes easy. Instead of choosing something in life where it's an easy choice now of being lazy, eating the food, whatever it is, and not doing the workout, the harder things come later if I'm doing the easy option now.
And that's where working out, it's amazing because it teaches you about life.
Yes.
Like working out teaches you to embrace hard things because hard things in life is always going to move you forwards. It's always challenging you, and that's how you get better. And so that's the thing, is it's supposed to be hard. Like what you were saying before, where some people, they embrace something that's hard. They start, finding a bit of resistance in the direction they're going in, and they think, oh, this isn't for me. Like the life's telling me that I should be doing something else because it's too hard.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, that's how growth works. Growth is on the other side of hard. Like if you go to the gym and train, easy workouts don't train your body. Because if it doesn't challenge you, your body can already do it, so it doesn't need to build more muscle.
Yes.
Where the way you build muscle is by challenging it. And the only way to challenge it is to make it hard for the muscle to the point where it can't lift the weight anymore. And that resistance, that challenge is what stimulates growth in the body, because that resistance, the body's like, oh, well, this is really hard. I can't do it. I need to get stronger for next time so I can do it again next time. So each time you do something in life and it's hard and you face that resistance and you don't turn away, but you do it anyway, you lean into it, you push your body to failure, you go up to those people and introduce yourself when you want to pull away and not do it, you go on the dance floor and dance anyway, even though you're not feeling it. So anytime you feel the emotion that's opposite to what you want to do and you do it anyway, you feel the fear and do it anyway, you feel the anxiety and do it anyway, the more you lean into that resistance, that challenge, the more your body then strengthens itself afterwards. And it's crazy that's literally what happens in the gym. That's how you build muscle in the gym. You have to do something hard. By pushing to failure, it then rebuilds so that it's stronger for next time. And that's exactly how it works in life.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think another reason why people self-sabotage as well is they've been told their whole life they are a certain person. Like maybe a family member has declared over them constantly, oh, you're just not very smart, or you are very sporty. Like we're told things without even realizing as we're growing up, or maybe parents have been shaping certain things by their actions that you've seen. So you're thinking, oh, like that's how we rock up. So if you're a parent right now, start to think about as well, like, are the actions that I'm doing is this what I would want for my children? Because your kids are watching you whether you like it or not. They are watching the way you speak to yourself. They are watching how you act. Are you just lounging around all day on on the lounge, which is nothing wrong with that, but every day? Are you getting up early for a workout? Are you drinking water over having soft drink? Are you constantly on your phone and now you're trying to tell your kids not to be iPad kids? Like, there are so many actions that you are doing of your identity that are shaping your children. So that's another thing to really look at is, what have you been told over your life that you really need to break off? Like, for example, I may have been raised in a household that my parents were like, you're never going to achieve anything. I was not. I was raised in a household where my parents were literally like, go after any dream that you have. It was never like, you can only do this and, your future is decided. I loved that my parents were always like, try all the sports. Like, my mum would come to every netball carnival anywhere it was in New South Wales and just make sure that we were supported. And she was like, I just want to make sure that you guys live the life that you want to live. And so I've always had in my mind that anything is possible because my parents really put that into my head. But if my parents kept putting in my head all the time that, life is just lived a certain way, you should do this, this, and this by this age, and that's it, then I'd probably be living that life. So that's another thing to really be thinking about as well is, what is your environment in your household like right now that maybe has shaped you, but also you're shaping your children? But then also, what environment are you in your everyday life? Like, Janusz and I put ourselves in rooms where we feel encouraged constantly, whether it's conferences, our friendship groups are encouragement, our church is, our families are encouraged. Like, it's always feeling like we can do anything.
Yeah, having people who are calling you and lifting you up to an identity that you don't hold yet. And this is where speaking over your children, like, don't speak over them exactly how they are. Like, the way that you make them better is by speaking life into them better than what they are.
Yep.
So even though it's not about lying to your children, but it's just about when you see them take a small action towards cleaning up or something like that, affirm that small action. So you don't have to say, oh, you're the
best in the world for cleaning that dish.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I love how you put things away after you've played with them, if you've seen them do it once. Like, it's affirming those things in them, because that's the difference between flattery, where you're just flattering someone, but then it's like they're not believing it because you're just saying things out of nowhere. But when you have evidence, or you're affirming an action that somebody has taken or your child has taken, or if your husband does something, like, affirm whenever they're doing a small thing that's loving towards you.
Yep, great
Because
point.
then you're saying, oh, I love how much you love me, or I feel so loved when you make me a coffee in the morning, or I feel so loved whenever you just come in and you just give me a kiss when you come inside, or something like that. Like, you're then affirming the love in that person, even though you might feel like, oh, they're not loving to me, I don't feel loved at all. Affirming the smallest thing that you can identify in that person helps to build a bigger thing. And if you can't see a small thing, then you need to work on your eyes, because everybody has gold in them. It's just that we can't always see the gold in the person to start with.
Yeah, that's so
if you're
true.
focusing on all of their flaws to start with.
Yeah. So if you have, like, maybe you're in your 50s, 60s and you feel like you've been raised for all those years just not feeling like you can achieve anything, that's okay. That's literally been built into you. What I want you to do is think about not just yourself right now, think about the environments that you put yourself in, your household, your workplace, your gym, whatever it is. Think, okay, well, I actually want, with the new habits and new identity I want to be, I want to just not inspire myself. I want to inspire those around me by showing them that what these actions can do. And it's not until you actually start to achieve these goals and, you start to become this person that people start to go, oh, well, what did you do? Like, can you share with me, what medication are you on? It's like, no, I actually just showed up for myself and consistently became this person. And guess what? People are going to have opinions about you, whether you're doing well or whether you're not doing well. So you might as well start working towards the person that you want to become. But just because you don't believe you can get there yet does not mean it's possible. And that's usually why most people self-sabotage, is because there's no belief that they're going to become that person. So why would they go through all that pain? Because you've never got there before. You've always proven to yourself that you always turn away when you're close to that goal. But guess what? As soon as you get close to that goal again, you're not going to turn away this time. You're going to keep pushing and keep pushing, because the further you keep pushing that wall, the closer you're getting to that goal. So just keep chipping away until you prove to yourself that you actually can be someone who follows through. Like, we are people who follow through. I'm someone who makes my bed every morning because I just proved to myself that I can do the really easy things in life to make sure that I can do the hard things in life. I'm someone who trains. Like, it's not weird that I train in the gym. It's actually weird if I don't train in the gym. It's weird if we aren't positive. Like, I know last year with everything we went through, I was like to Janosch, man, this feels so off brand. Like, I'm not used to feeling depressed. I'm not used to feeling really negative. It really feels like a completely different identity. But I was okay to be in it for a while. And then I had to snap myself out of it. And I was like, okay, it's time, Melissa, to start rebuilding the version of you that you used to be, the best version. It was really hard, but we just kept chipping away. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, Janosch, I feel like me again. And that felt really good.
Yeah. The best way to break like a belief that you're holding, if it's not serving you, is to just build up so much evidence contrary to that belief that you can no longer hold that belief anymore.
Yes.
So if like, for example, if you're using that belief of like, oh no, I'm the type of person that every time I get close to my goal, I always self-sabotage myself. Well, that's actually a belief that you're holding that's not really true. It's true up to this point because it's true every time you do get there, you do self-sabotage yourself. But the way to break through it is when you get close to it, just keep doing the actions anyway. Even though you're feeling like, oh, I'm getting close to my goal, I'm probably going to self-sabotage myself. It's like, okay, but that's a lie if you keep persisting and you don't self-sabotage yourself, right? So if you just keep doing the actions, you keep showing up to the gym, if you fall down and you just get back up straight away, if you fail with your nutrition for one meal, then you just pick it back up for dinner. You just have a better meal for dinner. Like the moment that you just keep stepping forward, keep casting votes for that new identity, then you can't hold your old belief anymore because it's not true anymore. So if you've been told, for example, you might have been hearing when we were talking about, speaking over your children or you being spoken over by your parents. Maybe you had limiting beliefs put on you from other people saying, oh, you're just so messy. You're just a really messy type of person. Yep. It's like, okay, well, maybe you do believe that about yourself as well. But the thing is that the more you start cleaning your room, cleaning your bathroom, and taking the actions of cleaning and keeping a clean bathroom and a bedroom, then you're not a messy person anymore.
Yeah.
Because you have all of this evidence where it's like, okay, your mum can still say, oh, you're just so messy. It's like, yeah, but it's not true because I've changed. And the evidence is now showing that every day I clean my bed. Every day my room's clean. Every day when I clean the kitchen, it's clean. Like every time, like, so the more that you take the actions and build all of this evidence, like you outwork your self-beliefs, like your limiting beliefs. Like when you have a limiting belief, just do so much evidence, rack up so much actions where you're doing the opposite of that limiting belief. So then now it's like, oh, I'm not a morning person. But guess what? For the last 10 years of me running a personal training business, I've woken up at 5 a.m. almost every morning or 4 a.m. I'm still not a morning person, but I know that I can wake up early because I've got all of this evidence that I can wake up early and I actually enjoy the morning once I'm up. So that's the story I now tell myself is, oh, you know what? I'm not a morning person, but I love it when I wake up early. Like I love being up early.
Yes, that's really good. I just want to encourage as well, if you have a friend or a family member around you or a work colleague or someone that's trying to change their identity from point A to point B right now, please stop. If you are already doing this, please don't speak their old identity over them. It's like, for example, if you have a friend that constantly shows up late, stop being like, oh, you're the late comer always, this typical Melissa who's late. You know what I mean? Like, don't be that person. I want to encourage you to be the person who speaks life into someone and speaks and vision casts over them to be like, hey, I love that you showed up early that day. Like that, you could totally keep doing that. Like really speak life into them. If you see someone who's struggling to lose weight, be like, oh my gosh, like you are doing so well. I love the actions that you're doing to become that person, and keep speaking life into them because that particular person is maybe really struggling, and maybe on the last day where they feel like they just can't do it anymore, or they feel like no one even notices what they're doing anyway. So what's the point of showing up? You may be the person that makes a big difference in their life. And I know that's most of our job, is really vision casting into people's lives and being like, hey, yeah, you used to be this person, but I see this for you. I see you losing 20 kilos and running around with your kids. I see you losing weight and feeling confident to get a better job and feeling confident to do that now. I see you leaving that relationship that's not good for you and actually being with someone who encourages you and you're fit together and you're healthy. I see that for you. And sometimes people just need to see someone else vision cast that over their life, if that makes sense. so they can see that it's actually possible.
Yeah, it's just about affirming the gold in people,
Yeah.
encouraging the gold in people. And it's one of those things, like we were saying before, that like if you haven't practiced looking for the gold in people, sometimes you've just got your negative sunglasses on, where all you can see is people's flaws, and that's all you can see in yourself as well. Where the more you practice seeing the gold in other people and affirming it, encouraging them in those things, the more you'll start to see the gold in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is taking the actions. But then the second part of building self-belief and the new identity is affirming yourself and encouraging yourself when you're taking those positive actions. Remember, accepting when people are giving you encouragement, when people are giving you compliments and you're like, oh, this feels so weird.
Yeah.
People commenting me on my weight loss, even though I've been overweight my entire life. Just say thank you. I'm training really hard. Thank you. I'm really working on my nutrition.
Yeah, it's hard though. Like I struggle sometimes still when people are like, wow, you and Janosch are smashing it right now. I go, oh, like whatever, like we're trying. And then I have to go, wait a second. Thank you. We are smashing it right now. We feel that. Yes, we're not perfect and we have so many other things we want to improve on, but thank you for saying that and noticing that. It's actually it's a skill to accept a compliment, and it allows someone to bless you with a compliment as well. I feel like we should finish with some practical steps that help you change your identity. So we've got 5 steps that are quite simple, but if you can put these into action, we really feel like this can help you. And number 1 is lowering the bar. So sometimes people go, I want to be from point A to point B so quickly. Don't go too extreme too quickly. Start, like I said before, write all the bad habits that you have, but just fix 1 to begin with, because it may be too crazy to fix 20 habits and become a whole new person in one day. Just fix 1 and prove to yourself that you can do that and show up and do it, and then go to the second one and then go to the third one.
Yeah. It was like we were saying before, right? You're what you do majority of the time, not what you do occasionally. Mm-hmm. So just focus on doing things well majority of the time. You don't have to be perfect. You're not like, the way that you pass a test is by getting 50% or more, 51%, right? You don't have to be perfect. So same thing with voting in a new identity. We used this analogy a few weeks ago. When you're voting in a new identity, the one who gets voted in for president doesn't need 100% of votes. They just need the majority. And so whatever the new identity is that you're trying to create, you just need to cast majority of your actions into that new identity, knowing that you won't be perfect. Like there is going to be a day where you don't eat the right meal. There is going to be a day where you skip your workout. But then majority of the time, what do? That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The second one that we have here is to keep promises to yourself, right? So if you have all of this evidence in your brain of, yeah, you know what, I'm not the type of person who shows up for myself. I keep my promises to other people, but when I promise myself that I'm going to wake up on Monday and do my workout, I don't do my workout. When I say I'm going to start the diet on Monday, I don't start the diet on Monday. If that's what you have in your belief right now for yourself, then you need to make small promises to yourself and keep those promises. Mm-hmm. And the more you start keeping small promises to yourself, the more you start building self-belief, and the more you can start making bigger promises to yourself, knowing that you're going to keep them. Whereas if you can't make big promises to yourself right now, start small. Start with just something small, like where it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to eat healthy yet, but I'm just going to switch my soft drinks to the no sugar variants as a small first step.
Yeah.
Then what's the next one after that?
Yeah, great point. Number 3 is changing your language. A lot of our clients or even friends around us will say, I'm trying to lose weight, trying to quit smoking, trying to do this. Instead of having that language of it's very half in, you want to feel so confident that you're already speaking of the identity of who you are. So for example, instead of saying I'm trying to lose weight, you say to people, no thanks, I'm losing weight right now. I am someone who gets up on time. I'm someone who shows up on time. Sorry, I'm meal prepping on the weekend. Not, I'm going to try and meal prep over the weekend and get things done. I'll try and finish my workouts on the weekend if I have time. Nope. I am someone who gets the workouts done at this time. If you are confident in what you say, you will start to believe it and show up as that person. Like our language is so strong in what we want to achieve and what we want to do. And we declare it constantly over ourselves.
Yeah, not perfectly all the time.
No, but
you catch yourself and you re-say the sentence again.
Yeah, there'll be moments where we can say things that I'm like, oh, that's a very old identity, Melissa. Like, I'm a quiet person. No, I'm not. I'm actually quite loud. But you have to constantly reaffirm that and say it so people around you start to believe it, so people don't question you as well. Like, no one questions us. When I'm like, oh yeah, like we're going to run a marathon. No one was like, who do you think you are? Everyone was like, oh yeah, that's very on brand for you guys.
Yeah. And it's because we started to take the actions to back up.
Yeah, we
to
got up
back
at
what we're
3 a.m.
saying.
on Saturday. We would run every week for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we showed up. That's what we did.
Yeah. The fourth one that we have here is to expect discomfort. And not just expect it, but actually learn to embrace discomfort. So when you're trying to change something, know that it's probably going to be hard because it's new, it's different. There's going to be challenges, but don't look at challenges as, oh, this is the wrong path for me. Know that it's the right path, and that's why you're experiencing discomfort, and that means you need to lean into it more.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be hard. Remember, if you're trying to be and live an exceptional life, you have to be prepared to be the exception. Like if you're living in the exceptional life, you're going to be different to other people because you're going to live your life differently. So you need to expect that there's going to be some comments. You need to expect that there's going to be days where you don't want to wake up to go to the gym. You need to expect that it's going to be hard, and you do it anyway because you know that by persisting and doing the hard thing anyway, you're going to get stronger and grow through it.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I get excited for resistance. I'm like, oh, I want to feel that resistance because I know a payoff is coming. And it's always a simple reminder of, as long as you don't quit, you will eventually win. You will get there as long as you keep showing up. Like you will fail if you stop and go back the other way. But as long as you keep showing up over and over again, we don't know what the timeline might look like, but as long as you keep showing up, you'll eventually get there. And that's what I'm always trying to remind myself when I'm in a season of like, oh, this feels really uncomfortable. I don't feel great. You eventually get to that point where you're like, oh, there it is. It paid off. But guess what? You're already on the next goal. And the next goal, I'm always chasing that resistance because I always know there's a payoff.
It's like that quote we said last week that if you do not stop, you cannot fail.
Yes,
Like
exactly
failure
right.
only comes by stopping.
Yeah.
Whereas like you will have moments where you fall off track, but to us, like what we see through coaching hundreds of people over the years is the people who succeed is how quickly do they get back on track when they fall off track. Does it take you a day? Does it take you multiple days? Does it take you the weekend? Does it take you a week? Does it take you months? So the longer that it takes you to get back on track, the least successful you're going to be. Whereas if you can start to become the type of person who expects to fail every now and then, who expects to have some difficulty over a weekend, if you can get back on track within a day or within an hour, like just because you ate unhealthy in the morning doesn't mean the whole day has to be unhealthy.
Yes.
Like, can you just get back on track within an hour? So the quicker that you can get back on track, the more successful you will be in life.
Yeah, and I think that goes well into our last point. Point 5 is stop restarting. And what we mean by that is stop looking at your journey as you starting, stopping. You're allowed to make mistakes. If you look at this journey,
Not even allowed. You will.
You will.
You will make mistakes.
You are already setting yourself up for failure if you think you're going to be perfect 100% of the time.
Yeah.
We are not perfect 100% of the time. There are days where I accidentally sleep in and I'm like, well, didn't get my walk in, but guess what? I'll try and get it in the afternoon. You just make adjustments as you go. You don't look at it and go, well, I guess I'm restarting this journey again. I'm just someone who can't keep following through.
I wasn't perfect this week. I
I'll
might as
start
well
on
wait till next
Monday.
week.
Oh my goodness. Just go,
Sometimes-
okay, I'm a human who made a mistake.
Yeah, sometimes literally by Wednesday, I see somebody stops tracking a little bit on Tuesday, their nutrition, and then Wednesday there's nothing
I
tracked.
know.
And I'm like, what's
I'm like,
happening? And they're like, oh, I already stuffed up Tuesday, so I
No.
thought I'd wait till next week. And I'm like, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, this is worse. In my check-ins yesterday, a lot of people were like, oh, well, this week's a write-off because Easter's this weekend. And I'm like, why? Like, Easter is one day. I know there's Easter long weekend. You're probably going out with friends and stuff. But why do you have to sabotage the whole week because of one day? And guess what? Your Easter eggs are going to be there the next day. You don't have to eat them in one go to get rid of them. Like, you don't have to have that mindset of, okay, well, I guess this week's a write-off. Next week as well. Or it's school holidays right now. I guess I'll start back when I'm at school. Doesn't have to be that way. You just have maybe one bad meal, but guess what? So are we. We're going to have a bad meal, or not even bad, but we're going to have some Easter eggs.
It's just a higher calorie day.
And then
you
we'll get
flip
back
it.
on track. Yeah, well, I flip it in a way where I'm like, oh, if I do have some extra calories here and there, I go, great, now I've got extra fuel to use in the gym to push even harder. And that's how I'm going to frame it in my head. And the next day I'm going to get right back on track again and not self-sabotage and not be like, oh, well, woe is me. That's just how I do things. I never follow through. No, already decide what you're going to do this weekend and then just work with it. That's it.
Yeah, just have a normal week this week. Focus on training hard leading up into Easter. Enjoy Easter with your family and your friends, and then get straight back into it next week. Focus on healthy eating. Focus on using those extra calories you've got to train hard in the gym, not looking at it as entire write-off weeks, and that whole mindset comes from people trying to have perfect weeks. Whereas if you just realize on this journey that there is no perfection. Okay, so it's just like, okay, majority of the time, who are you? Majority of the time, we are people who show up to the gym, who do our workouts, who live active lifestyles, who live healthy lifestyles, who eat healthy foods. That's what we do majority of the time. Then when it gets to days like Christmas or Easter, we just celebrate and enjoy them with our family, because we know that they're not going to really undo that much progress if we just get straight back into it and we didn't write off the entire week.
Exactly. I just realized that most people are going to be listening to this the day after Easter when this episode comes out. And you may be feeling a bit sluggish. You may be like, oh man, like why did I do that yesterday? Why did I have the extra meal? Guess what? You were probably with family and friends that you usually don't get to see. Enjoy yourself. Easter is one day of the year, and Easter chocolate is better than any chocolate, and no one can change my mind. So I hope you actually enjoyed that chocolate, had some fun with family and friends, celebrated, Jesus, if you do believe in that, like whatever it is, enjoy that. And guess what? Right now, as you're listening to this, go, okay, how do I get right back on track now? Don't look at this as a write-off. Go, okay, today's Monday. I can get right back on track today, but I've got to decide to show up as that person.
Yeah. And stop being mean. Stop being mean to yourself.
Why you gotta be so
you're literally not affirming the good in yourself. You're affirming the bad. Like, enjoy the weekend for what it was. It's done. Focus now on like, okay, well, now I get to have some good workouts using the extra calories that I had over the weekends. Don't judge yourself for it, because that just makes it harder for you. You're affirming the negative belief. You're affirming you falling off track. You're affirming the bad things. So instead, just look at it as enjoyment. Like, oh, I had really fun over the weekend having that wedding. Oh, I really enjoyed Easter and having the extra chocolates. Now I'm going to focus on getting back on track, because that's who I am.
Yeah, great points. Well, we hope today's episode blessed you. If you love our podcast, which I'm sure you do, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave comments for us, share it with your friends, because then we can bless so many more people with our words and our wisdom, which just makes us so happy. So thank you for your support. And we all hope you
go out and live the probability lifestyle.
Oh, we'll get that one day.